Hello guys, Survivor here. It's been a while since I actually made one of these, which was part of my why series. You know, like why I'm anticipating for this, why I love this, why I hate this, blah blah blah, all that stuff that I kind of started doing back in March. I was planning on doing more of these, which I teased at the end of last one, my very first episode of that, which was why I'm excited or anticipating for Detroit Become Human. I already gave my thoughts on that game, and it is gonna be, dude. It's literally coming out in like 2-3 weeks at this. It's literally coming out in literally a little bit of a less than a week at this point. I cannot wait. I cannot wait, guys. Oh man, since I did play Beyond Two Souls and recorded it, which I'm probably gonna be, putting that out. Probably as the Detroit, it's gonna be amazing. I've been thinking, yes, my thoughts on why and what it is like a 1 year later edition, because I seriously 1 year later I still have not beaten this game. Reason why? Disappointment. I'm pretty sure all of you can agree that this game was not the best Mass Effect, like, at all, if you even try to compare it to the original trilogy, which, compared to it, it makes the original trilogy alone, including, like, the extended cut ending, which is what I prefer, makes them look like a complete masterpiece, a work of God, compared to this. Now, I'm not gonna say that this is literally the abomination from hell or some shit. You know, it ain't no Ride to Hell or Retribution. It's not on the levels of a Resident Evil Umbrella Corps. It's none that much. There are some positives to the game, but I just couldn't get through it. And it wasn't because of how infuriating it was to me, like how different it was, blah blah blah. It's because it's boring as shit once, like, you get to, like, try to do all these side quests and try to do some more of the main story. Yes, I hear that it does pick up as it goes on. It does pick up and gets a little bit more exciting as it goes on, and your choices and stuff makes you feel like you are in Mass Effect. But I'm just not going to do that because I'm just not getting to these characters. Like, yes, there are characters I personally do like that are from this game, but the problem is that they're not letting you get to know more of these characters when you want to, which is disappointing, as I wanted to do more of PB's project, but I have to play through more of the main story to get to that point, which is personally a bad thing. Yes, you could say that with Mass Effect 2, as you know, once you talk to some of the characters after they get on board, they do mention like what they were up to and what happened, and you don't really find out until the story kind of goes along, like after Horizon. But the thing is with that though is that there's a difference with that. The story is literally making you wait in Andromeda, like it doesn't matter how many missions you do. You literally have to wait until after a certain point to continue doing their missions. You're already doing their own personal quests. They're just making your ass wait until you progress through the story, making the pacing of that awful at times. It's just, ugh. And the thing is, it's in like a multitude of missions, which I kind of found a bit more cool and all that good stuff. And but in Mass Effect 2, you literally do their mission whenever you want, when they want to talk to you. Yes, when they want to talk to you. At certain points of the story. It just... that's the damn difference from Mass Effect 2. Hell, in Mass Effect 1, you can literally go to Garrus and freaking Rex at certain points. And it's actually kind of unpredictable at times. Like when these things actually do trigger. It just really all depends like when you want to go and actually talk with them. Yeah. Kinda like that. Okay, I just had to cut on my light because the lighting here is kind of garbage. So, and the sun's going down at this point. It's only like 6 o'clock already. But anyway, like I was saying, like with Rex and Garrus in Mass Effect 1, you can literally just do their mission wherever the hell you wanted. And yes, in Mass Effect Andromeda, you can do that as well if you want. The problem is, if you do want to do them, you have to wait until you can progress through the main story, which, if it's actually connected to the plot, it could work, but it just pissed me off that if you're like just gonna let us do these missions already, it just annoyed me. It just really did. So yeah, when you're doing the character missions, just not that great at times, especially when you're trying to do Peevee's mission, who personally is my favorite out of all the characters. Yes, more than my Ryder character. Here's another thing, and this is a dialogue options. It's literally on some Fallout 4 dialogue options mentioned by Angry Joe, which I do gotta give Angry Joe credit. It's literally like the Fallout 4 freaking thing. Like, no matter what you say, they'll literally say some of the same shit. I am not joking. Like, they will literally say the same shit no matter what you say. And hell, when it looks like you're trying to say something clever, like let's say what Shepard would do in this situation, like how clever he is when it comes to renegade options, it always feel like that. It's like you can't be a bad like a meanish type of guy or a leader or something. You know, you're the new Pathfinder. The game is literally forcing you to play as the good guy, and when you feel like you're trying to say something, it literally, like, that's clever, it still has to do that. It's making it feel like a lesser feeling of being like a mean asshole at times. Making the role-playing experience of the game feeling underwhelming as shit. I mean, if you're a nice guy and all, kind of like me, then I'm pretty sure, yeah, it wouldn't get on your nerves. But when you're trying to go back and replay the game, see how everything is and how you go about this and that, it's just, other than like the major choices that do happen and which character you want to romance with, blah blah blah, and which character mission you want to do because you're interested with these certain characters, and nothing really changes like in terms of your relationships with them. Like, seriously, like this actually pissed me off. One of the major missions of the game, where you literally just like go to this facility, right? And you go and take out this one bitch who is in charge of this facility. It's like actually kind of early on in the game to an extent. I really have no idea how long the actual game is. It's just when you go to this very first facility on this ice planet or some shit, right? You actually go to you can actually destroy the facility and not get everyone else so they wouldn't use the facility again, or you can capture the base and actually, with them being risked to actually, with it being risked to, being captured again and being used, and these people being used over again, I decided to keep the facility, because even, like, if it does end up getting attacked, and just, call out Mr. Pathfinder over here. But other than that, like, it's just... But here's the thing. I actually looked up the freaking Joel's reaction to that. Like, if you do end up destroying the facility immediately, he is pissed at you, but he ends up forgiving you later on. Are you fucking kidding me? It's like there's no real way for anyone to get pissed off at you for who you are at times, or what the decision that you make. Literally. Sorry about that little cough there. It's because the pollen around my area is outrageous, and I have a bit of an allergy issue. It's not that bad to me. It's just how my body's reacting to it. Like, my fucking head is hurting just a little bit from it. It's just, yeah. But yeah, Mass Effect Andromeda, for what it did, it just disappointed. It's just disappointing as shit. And and it just sucks because the opening sequence, the very start of the game, was actually pretty intriguing and really cool. But the thing is, after that sequence, after your father dies in the very beginning of the game, your character cannot really respond in a related manner. Like, dude, that was your father. Aren't you gonna react in like a relatable? Look, I know it's a video game, but the thing is, video games at this point have become an art form. Can become art. Can become art. Look at the Last of Us. Look at the original Mass Effect trilogy. Look at freaking Dead Space 2. Like the story in that game was amazing. Resident Evil 4, like the story in that was pretty damn good, especially if you read the damn notes. Plus, the gameplay was amazing. The Witcher, it's like the Witcher 3 for what I played. The Evil Within 2, like especially right around the end, like when it came to the story and everything and the characters. Mass Effect Andromeda had no fucking excuse to just have weak ass reactions and scripted parts. Like what are they doing? Who wrote the script to have the character, like, yes, your character is shocked that your father just died, but you would think that because that's your father and there's an actual mission revolving around him, which just ends up leading to a revelation about your mother, it's just like, wow, what the hell with this voice acting? Like, I wouldn't say it's bad because of the voices, like, that don't match, blah blah blah, like it's god awful. No, like the voice acting is decent, especially with certain characters. I really like again, PD's like the best freaking character in the game. Like, what is it with the love for Asari and BioWare? Like, what the hell? Like, even Andromeda, they kind of get it right with her, to be honest. Because I really like their direction that they took with PD, who's actually an Asari mechanic genius, and I freaking love her. But yeah, guys, it's just Andromeda. It does have its good points, like the gunplay. I really like the combat in the game. It's actually pretty cool. Personally, I think it's the best combat that we got in Mass Effect by far, to be honest. I really enjoy the combat system because of how open the area is, and when you get into combat, it's just, I don't know, it's just really cool. It kind of reminds me of like when Microsoft was showing Scalebound to an extent, because it was like a big open area when you're fighting all these guys, or to an extent Final Fantasy 15, like you're doing all this, blah blah blah, and when you get into a big fight, it's literally in the open area, not switching to another, like to the battle mode, like I say, back in the old school Final Fantasies. You know what I'm saying? Like, it reminded me a lot like that, and I personally didn't like that. Plus, the graphics in the game, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Like, especially like on the ice planet, you can see the auroras. It just looks beautiful, and the Mako sections, or like the quote unquote Mako sections, which I'm going to be calling them in this game, because it basically is a skinned Mako. They were actually done well, because the thing is, it was a little bit wonky in the first game, but Andromeda took that and made it like worthwhile, like, cause if you're like kind of bored, you're like, okay, these characters says that this is what's gonna happen next. You can have like little things to the Frostbite engine. They really made the game look gorgeous, and it's just. But the thing is, the character models, other than the aliens, like, the Krogan, the Turians, the Asari, the Solarians at times, they all look good. Some Solarians kind of look like a bit off. It's just the humans, which are present a lot in this game, by the way. How the hell do we go from Mass Effect 3, which looked like this, back in 2012 to this 5 years later. I mean, I guess it was probably some of the same guys that helped develop Dragon Age Inquisition. I mean, it looked like it was by the. It was looking like it looked like it was by those guys. I mean, because Dragon Age Inquisition kind of looks like that to an extent. The thing is, Dragon Age Inquisition, especially for its time, which came out in 2014, 3 years earlier, it looked pretty damn good, especially with the character models. Especially for an age where The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt was basically looking around the same. Back in 2015, it just, I'm like, what the hell? I mean, so I'm guessing that some of the guys that did the character designs from Dragon Age Inquisition tried doing it here in Andromeda. It just didn't work, and it just, I don't know, it just did not look that good. Because they literally looked. Because some of the characters literally look like they've been molded out of clay at times. No joke. I mean, what the hell's with some of the dialogue here and there? My face is tired.
Yo! Whose mess is this?
That shit's been memed so many times, it's not even funny. But yeah, Mass Effect Andromeda, 5 years in the making, and the thing is, I got into the series exactly, I think, in the same year as 2014 to 2014 to 15 to an extent. And ever since I got to see that announced trailer of Andromeda, they were going to the Andromeda Galaxy, there was so much potential behind it, and I personally really enjoyed it for what it kind of was at times. Because I did like Vetra. Vetra was a really cool Turian. It was actually the very first female Turian I think we've seen. Technically, I think in terms of like in a main game without DLC, blah blah blah. But I don't know. I really liked Vetra. Cora, to an extent, was, I don't know. She was all right. I mean, the fact that she was literally a human in an Asari commando squad kind of made me interested in her backstory, as I would have liked, I don't know, like a DLC playing as her, going through her adventures with the Asari Commando Squad. And with how deadly the Asari, or like at least how powerful the Asari Commandos were, especially when you fight Benezia in Mass Effect 1, I'm actually really curious on Cora's adventures, to be honest. I don't know if she ends up explaining them or not, because again, I didn't finish the damn game. Drax? I mean, don't get me wrong, he's kind of a Krogan badass. I mean, aren't Krogans supposed to be badass anyway? But the thing is, like, though, like, the main problem I have with this game is not only because of how boring it can get, because like when it's trying to do its own thing at times, when it just fails at it, and it just leads up to being boring at times. It literally uses certain things, certain plot elements from it go through familiar ground quite a bit in this game, like no joke. And the fact that they literally only added in 2 new species, like let's say the Ket, the main antagonist race of the game, and the Resistance aliens, who I forget who they are, because again, it's been a fucking year since I played it. It just, what the hell? Literally 2 new species in the game. Even if there is like probably like a few more out there, we just haven't seen them or interact with them. Like let's say unlockable content afterwards or whatever, blah blah blah. I just do not give a shit. As literally, this is the Andromeda Galaxy. They could have done anything with this shit. Instead, the races that you're mostly interacting with are the same ones that you basically already interacted with from the original trilogy. The Turians, the Asari, the Krogan, the freaking Solarians, the same fucking races you've already met up with. And I get it, because you know, it did take place in the middle of the original trilogy, and they're like all going to the Andromeda Galaxy. It was again a really cool concept. The thing is, we not only did not get to see the Koreans at all, which was bullshit to begin with, and the fact that this game took like literally like 4 years, like three to 4 5 years to make, is just, what the hell? I just do not understand what the hell happened in development. I know I heard that some developers, some people who are working on Andromeda did end up leaving, but that was probably because it was already like halfway done, or probably like almost done to begin with. Now, I don't know what the hell happened, probably because of the bullshit that EA was doing. And the thing is, this wasn't really by the BioWare that we all know and love. This is actually part of BioWare, just a part of BioWare, called BioWare Montreal. Since the BioWare we all know and love are working on Anthem, their newest IP, who are basically just trying to make it look like Destiny. But the thing is, though, the gameplay they did show, though, was actually pretty damn cool, and I'm actually kind of curious on where the hell that's going to go next, with the storm effects and everything, like at the end of that one demo, which I'm actually pretty excited to see. I'm really hoping that the BioWare we all know and love, since Casey Hudson is back at BioWare after the shitstorm that was Mass Effect Andromeda. Like, again, I don't think it was bad. There are, like I said, the gunplay, the graphics, some characters to an extent were pretty good, and I'm pretty decent. And it's just overall disappointing, because again, I literally stopped the game because I was bored. I should never get bored in a Mass Effect game. I should be intrigued. I should be, interested in the story, the character arcs. It's just the writing in some of these characters just isn't that interesting. It isn't that great. Yes, there are some ideas to these characters. Again, Cora being part of the Sorry Commando Squad, that's interesting. I would like to see, like I say, a comic on that ship, because Mass Effect does have comics that does explain certain events that did happen that were only said in the original games, which I'm really hoping that they do, because they do have a comic about Ashley before she met with Shepard and Kaden on Eden Prime, and the mission that Jacob talked about, where he and Moreno started a terrorist attack on the Citadel, which again I'm really hoping they do make into a comic, because kind of like how they're doing with the Korean the Korean art being discovered. I'm really hoping that they do that, because it's just interesting to see. It's just, again, Andromeda just has so much big potential, because we're going into a whole new galaxy. It's just really that much. It's disappointing as shit. And with how far choice and consequence games have come, like I say, games like Heavy Rain since 2010, since Detroit Become Human's coming out, it's gonna be destroying the choice and consequence shit if it gives us everything that it promises. And the Telltale games, they're doing better with their choices, because your choices do reflect on your relationships with certain characters, which could result into them doing some shit you would never expect from them because of what happened and what your relationship with them are. It's really interesting, like how it all goes in two versions of the final episodes of Batman, the end within. And Mass Effect is just at least falling behind, or at least BioWare is kind of falling behind to an extent. As since Mass Effect 3 and Dragon Age Inquisition, Dragon Age Inquisition wasn't a bad game at all. It's just like they did do the whole role playing thing pretty cool and everything. It's just with Andromeda, they're falling behind now. Now that Casey Hudson is back, or at least is coming back, I have no idea, because he did say because I'm pretty sure after Andromeda, the series that he ended up the Mass Effect series that he himself directed throughout the course of the 3 main games, the dude's probably like, what the fuck did they do to my series? So yeah, I'm really hoping that Casey Hudson does come back as a creative director for the next Mass Effect game, or at least the next game from BioWare in general, because the dude did direct the original trilogy, at least like one of the directors. It was like, I'm pretty sure he was like the main director. But yeah, the guy did all that in the directed in the original trilogy. Please, Hudson, you better freaking bring the series back to where it is, because it needs help right now, because it's just really destroyed BioWare at this point. And if Anthem doesn't do anything, dude, you're our only hope, my man, to bring BioWare back to what it does best with Mass Effect when it comes to that next title. Because Mass Effect Andromeda did sell somewhat well because of its multiplayer to an extent, and people did end up liking it. It's just we're disappointed. We just want to go back and replay it again, which is sad, because Mass Effect is a series you would like to go back and replay, but the differences are so damn small when it comes to relationships with characters and everything. It's just not that great in comparison. Yeah, guys, I know my lighting is absolute shit right now, but I'm just going to go ahead and end this in the video just saying, yes, Mass Effect Andromeda was a colossal disappointment. It definitely deserved the amount of criticism that it got, but I don't think it was a bad game. Yes, I did look up like how the game kind of goes on. Like, yes, like I said before, I heard it does pick up as it goes on, but and from the looks of what I did end up looking up, it looks like it does, but again, it just doesn't intrigue me that much anymore because of what it just does. It also goes through familiar ground, which is kind of ripping off to an extent their own ideas. One of the most disappointing games of all time. I literally got bored in a Mass Effect game. That shit shouldn't happen at all. This Mass Effect can be full of many discoveries. It's like Star Wars meets Star Trek. The Star Trek element with you going around the galaxy, searching through interesting things and all that stuff. You know, kind of like what Star Trek does. And when it comes to the Star Wars elements, there's like battles, conflicts, and supernatural forces, forces, all these forces and stuff to an extent. Kind of like Star Wars to an extent. It's what people keep on saying that's what Mass Effect is, and that's basically what it freaking is. It's just, when you look at it with Andromeda, it's like, what the hell happened, bro? Anyway, Mass Effect Andromeda, colossal disappointment. I'm really hoping that BioWare does learn their lesson. Now, I heard that after Andromeda, BioWare Montreal did end up getting bought out because of what happened. So yeah, I'm really hoping that the BioWare we all know and love, the BioWare that is working on Anthem, does end up bringing to the light. Now, if Anthem does not deliver, my man Casey Hudson, he better freaking bring Mass Effect back from the dead with the next installment in, like, let's say, I think in like 4 more years at this point, probably. I don't know. I'm really hoping. Anyway, this is just my thoughts on like why Mass Effect Andromeda was disappointing to me, and more likely everybody else 1 year later. Hope you guys enjoyed this though. Like the video if y'all enjoyed, subscribe if y'all want to see more. Comment below about what y'all think. If any of y'all new to the channel, if y'all want to see more, be sure to subscribe for more. And hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Survivor out. And if y'all are wondering which game I'm probably gonna, or what song I'm gonna be commenting about next, we're going to be talking about an anime series that I feel like that it did get a lot of popularity, but when a certain adaptation of the same manga, the same name, came out, people started calling shit because of how different it was. I'm gonna call out all those motherfuckers on why Full Metal Alchemist 03 is just as good, if not probably better, than Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, at least in my eyes.